Hello from Glasgow. I've just decided to do a completely random thing and head out to a place called Balloch, which is the end of the line and on the south shore of Loch Lomond. So I'm not sure what to expect. I'm on platform 17 at Glasgow Central Station. So I've got to change somewhere on the way. I'll tell you what, why don't you come with me and see what we get and see what it's like. And I'll catch you in a little while. Cheers for now.
So as you've just heard, my route this evening takes me from one of the subterranean platforms at Glasgow Central towards Dalmuir, where we will change trains. And by this stage we're on part of the North Clyde line, and just after Dalrioch we'll branch off northwards onto the single track line up to Balloch. And it takes about an hour to get to Balloch, including changing trains at Dalmuir, and the train stops at 17 stations along the way. Okay, so here comes the first of my two trains up to Balloch this evening, a truly horrible looking ScotRail Class 320 electric multiple unit. And now obviously it stopped miles away from where I was standing, so I hurried back up the platform and was predictably one of the last passengers to get on board. And as a result, and because I did actually want to make some kind of feeble effort at social distancing, I chose to sit next to the toilet and carriage door. Now this was of course a great place to watch everyone wandering up and down the train aimlessly, as they did their best to leave the door open every time they went past. And when catching the train from platform 17, it is actually some time before you see the light of day. Well, I did appreciate this depiction of Glasgow University that they'd attached to the interior, and to be fair, I guess ScotRail didn't have to do this, so at least some effort had been made to brighten things up a bit. Fortunately, a few people got off early on, which enabled me to escape the confines of my original seat. We headed northwest, following the River Clyde, calling at several stations on the way. Here's one of them, Yoker, where nobody was waiting to catch our train. I couldn't find much about Yoker on the internet, to be honest, but I believe you can catch the ferry here across the Clyde to Renfrew. So the train stopped at Dalmuir, and it was here that we had to change trains. After leaving the train, I waited for a while for the other passengers to disperse before crossing over to the other platform, waiting for my next train to Balloch.
Oh my god, I'm at Dalmuir, and that service from Glasgow Central to Dalmuir is quite possibly the worst train I've ever been on. There was like hordes of 10-year-old gangs marauding through the train, and they just got off here and started throwing things on the railway line, and the occasional drug addict shuffled past me, muttering, and just the whole place sort of smells of BO. I don't know idea why. But anyway, I'm just waiting here now to get the other train to Balloch. And, yeah, the train's gonna be arriving hopefully in about 5 minutes time. There's some suspicious looking characters waiting to get on this one as well, but by the looks of it. So anyway, hopefully I'll talk to you again when I get to the end of the line, and yeah, I'll catch you in a bit. Cheers for now.
So I positioned myself at the end of this platform, and this time the train stopped way before me, and much to my dismay it was another Class 320, but I at least managed to squeeze myself into a seat away from the toilet this time. And as you can see, squeeze was the operative word. Hardly any legroom at all. And maybe the plug socket was there so you could plug into some kind of deep vein thrombosis monitor, if there is such a thing. Have you seen a train as bad as this for seat pitch? Please let me know in the comments below. There wasn't much to see out the window, which was quite fortunate really, considering the seat was so poorly aligned. And most seats, by the way, are laid out in a 2-3 configuration, clearly designed for the Glasgow commuter traffic, I would imagine. Well, at least I knew where the emergency exit and the fire extinguisher were. And the line is single track after Dalmuir, as I think I said before, and this was the village of Brenton, whose football team won the World Cup in 1888. If you don't believe me, try googling it. We then arrived at Alexandria, which is larger than Renton, but I couldn't really find much else to say about it, unfortunately. And finally, we reached the end of the line at Balloch, but rather than being met by a beautiful view of the loch, I was greeted by the sight of various security guards and police on the platform. And I quickly left the station and just wandered off down the road. I never really found the loch, but I did see a few pictures online, like this one, and it does look amazing. And I think it was through the park, but there were like loads of people hanging around in there, shouting random stuff, and so I was a bit scared of going in there, to be honest. And I also believe that the car park where I filmed my closing piece was actually the rough location of the long demolished Balloch Pier railway station, shown here. This was the original terminus where trains would have arrived to meet the steamers on the loch. And how things change.
Oh my god. Well, I'm at Balloch, with the rather unfortunate sounding name. I'm going to have a quick look around. When I got to the station, there was 2 police vans, several police on the platform, and several ScotRail security type people. God knows why. I don't know what they're expecting. Maybe it's a normal thing. If you've ever been on this train, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your experiences. But in the meantime, I'm not going to stick around too long. I'm going to hopefully, if I'm allowed back on the platform, get the next train back and seek refuge in the Premier Inn in Glasgow. So until then, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers for now.